Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. Can you hear me right?
I can, yeah.
Nice. All right. Can you see my screen?
It is loading right now. Yeah, I see it now.
So you've been. It's your first ever set, or is this a new account?
It's my first ever. I played like maybe 5 games on a different account, and I lost like all of them because I didn't know how to
Okay.
play TFT.
Then you got to diamond, and then been stuck a little bit. You got up to
Uh,
diamond three, and then back down again.
I was silver about 3 weeks ago. That's when I first
hmm
started playing the game. So I don't know if I'm peaked or not. I thought I was hard stuck plat one because I was there for like a week, but then I got to diamond three, so I was like, maybe I'm improving a bit.
hmm
And now I feel like yeah, like Diamond 3, Diamond 4 are pretty hard games.
Yeah. Usually diamond is when it starts getting pretty hard. That's like usually where most people get into their first slump, I would say. And then like high diamond, like getting through diamond two and diamond one is even harder than diamond four and three usually. Or
Yeah.
they're it's not necessarily harder, but there's a clear gap between like diamond four and like diamond one.
Yeah, because right now it's still kind of obvious to me what mistakes I make, but then like once I fix those, I don't see how I can get better.
Looks like I haven't checked if they actually please check real quick if they did patch because they were gonna do a B patch today.
I think they already got nerfed, right? The Imperials are weaker now. What was that?
Um,
Yeah, that happened already.
around 12 MPT. So it's in about an hour.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
well,
when I
that
was
they
playing yesterday, the Imperials were already at 75, 135. What if I don't play Imperials anyways? Well, I tried it once, but I
Yeah,
can't
no,
use
it's
them.
just nice to just keep in mind. Oh, it's January 24th. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Never mind. All right. So you play mostly a lot of Janna, but that's pretty standard. I think she's like the most played unit in the game.
Yeah,
Very
it's
flexible.
gotta play Joy.
hmm And you play mostly Shaco. What other carries are? I guess you're playing a lot of different carries since like the only clear carry is Sirius and Shaco and a Kali.
Yeah, I think
Or is
I've played a bunch of Heimer carry, and also I started playing Urgot carry. I tried to play Jin carry, but I always lose. And then I also play challengers.
yeah, Gen feels pretty bad right now.
Yeah,
But I would say Urgot is definitely like the best forecast carry right now. Yon and like challengers also work, but you need to have good items for it to
yeah.
work
I
out.
also play Ligma,
Ligma?
like protect your
Like
Kog'Maw reroll.
oh okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Cogre roll, okay.
yeah. People call it Ligma because of the meme, and then they ask
Yeah,
Ligma, and you say Ligma balls.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that right off the bat, the main reason why you might be having a bit of a slump is that you aren't really getting good at a couple of comps consistently.
Okay.
You're playing too many. That was worded weirdly. You play too many different comps, and because of that, it's really hard to get good at a couple of them, or like get really good at some comps.
So is
You're
it
kind of just getting like okay-ish at all of them if you're playing like a bunch of different ones.
so like a lot of times during my level like 4-1 roll down or whatever, I'll just take the first 4 costs that I get or that I can get a pair of and then play that one. Or should I be forcing more? I don't. I'm okay with
So
forcing
that's
Urgot.
it's
Yeah.
and well, so it's generally that's something you can do if you have items for multiple forecast carries. But most of the time, you're only going to have items for like one or two. Because usually you might have slammed like Hurricane and Last Whisper. Then you can like pick between Yon, Urgot, and Jin. But you also want to keep in mind your current board, like which units do you have right now and that are upgraded. Like if you have Bruisers, you want to lean way more towards Urgot. And if you have like bodyguards, you want to lean more towards Jin. And if you have like some challenger units already, you want to lean more towards Yone. So there is like you kind of have to look at your items and your current board to decide which is going to be like the best to pivot into because want to save as much money as possible by just by using the units you already have on your board.
Right. I generally start bodyguards for like stage 2 and 3, but I'm thinking about doing more bruisers because they just seem better this patch.
Yeah, bruisers definitely feel really good in this patch.
I just haven't made that adjustment yet. I was just like thinking about it last night and thought I should do that more.
Hmm.
Yeah. Dude, I
And
can't believe I didn't come in
then
first that game. Fucking all 2-star legendaries.
yeah, it's just you have you're missing Hurricane Urgot, which you feel so much worse without 3-star game.
Yeah, yeah. I had
Honestly,
a bow on my Urgot, and I had like a shop and a camp left, and there was no MR, so I had to build the gun blade or the gun.
RFC. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, same thing here. Like 2-star to almost everything, and I guess here you don't have a third item chin, but you have at least like the two most important items with the Hurricane and Last Whisper on them.
Also, I think with Jin positioning is so important, and I didn't do a good job.
Yeah, it's pretty kind of pretty hard, especially since you got to line up his ultimate, but then you also got to get sniper value. So
Yeah.
it's just very hard to play, and also you need to have like 2-star your entire front line and Jin. Like usually
I have that
a
though.
Jin comp that hasn't 2-starred everything is like nowhere near as good as like
Yeah. And I had Tarek
he
instead of
caps.
like a Tristana because they had more AP, so I don't know if that was the right choice. So get Enchanter 3 instead of Sniper, but that might have been bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on who's dealing the most damage. But most likely, you almost always want to have two snipers, and it would have even been better to just put Jewel Gauntlet on Jin because you get a bit extra crit damage,
Okay,
and
I
like
didn't know
that
that.
his spell can crit with Jewel Gauntlet.
Isn't his spell an auto? Like, does his spell crit with
That's,
IE even if you don't have Jewel Gauntlet?
yeah, no, you just get higher chance.
Oh, okay, a bit more damage. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it seems like terrible, like a waste, but you get like it basically just buffs his spell because he gets because his spell scales up AP, and you also get higher crit chance.
Right.
And then we got Fjorgen. Yeah, Fjorgen is a bit awkward
Yeah,
to
I
play
heard that
around.
it was
Usually you need a
stronger.
good,
Sorry.
you need a really cap board to play it because you need to have like a bunch. You could usually need like Kaisa to carry as well.
Yeah, I heard
And
that
then you have like dual.
the Fury carry was stronger than like vertical challengers, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the time you're not having 3 items on your carry. Like, is that a common thing that happens with you a lot, or
No, I isn't it just loot RNG? Like my goal is to 3-item my carry, but sometimes the items are bad, so I put them on the secondary guys. I don't know if that's like a bad idea or not.
it's most likely a bad idea?
Okay,
Um,
so should I
because it's pretty.
force?
I mean, I would get it if this happens like once every game, but it happened like here. Here you didn't get the good 3 items. Here you did. Here you didn't really, but then you have like Death Cap here. You didn't have here. Missed it here. Sojin, and then no item here. Just might be something. We'll take a look at the game and see how it pans out, but it might be like a potential thing.
Like, is it okay to have like a fucking like the 2 belt item on a carry that gives 1,000 health if like you really can't get anything, or is that better on a tank?
it's
Warmoth.
gonna be a lot better on the tank, but I think it's the issue is that you are getting into that situation a lot in the first place. That's the main issue.
Okay, so I should be like planning better in the early game.
Most likely, but we'll take a look after we play the game. Um, see how you play.
Right, right. Because it's impossible that I got that unlucky that many games in a row. I probably did something
Yeah, then
strong.
you'd have to get like just some insane amount of unluck. Like most likely you're making some misplays. Like do you slam items a lot?
Yeah. Should I slam less? Oh, so one problem is I have no idea how to play lose streak, so I try to slam items. But maybe I can learn to play lose streak better. Because normally I just
Okay,
bleed
if you
out.
don't know how to play loose streak, then it's going to be incredibly hard to get
Yeah,
out of diamond.
like I can lose all of stage 2 and that's fine, but it's hard to like pivot and Not just bleed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's loose streaking is it's a lot harder than win streaking, obviously, because you're not high rolling.
Yeah.
But usually it depends a little bit on which comp you're playing. Like if you're going for like a 5 or 6 loss streak, you're better off just going for like a 3-cost reroll. Like right now, you can play like Trundle, Cog, or I haven't tested out Imperials, but it might still be playable.
I play
So if
Cog.
you play Samir, it should probably be still playable. Because then you can just go all in on 3-2 or 3-1 if you're going for a Cog. And or if you're playing like a standard comp like Urgot, and so you can all in on after the carousel.
But that's not a reroll comp, right? You have to hit 7 and all in at
Yeah,
5.
it hits 7 first, and then you usually will roll to like close to 0. But you're gonna have like a boatload of gold if you went on an 8 loss streak.
Okay.
Also, but the hard part about losing as well is that it requires you to be really fast at rolling and also good at transitioning. Because if you aren't able to do it all in one turn, then you're gonna keep losing HP and then fall like way too far behind.
Yeah, I was used to be really bad at that, but now I've gotten better, but probably still can get more better. I don't know. Usually I can transition like maybe 60 or 70% of the way there, which sometimes I still lose because I don't do it fast enough, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions beforehand? Have you seen up in games? I think I know what to
Look at.
I think I think I know what to look out for. Like most likely, it's it's gonna be a mix of the way you make items. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And also, if you never lose streak, you probably play the early game way too aggressive. Although
Yes,
you
I
okay to play
agree.
aggressive.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know how to lose streaks, so how do you lose streak would be my question. Like I know what you do, but like you roll down at 3-2 at level 6 or all in at 3-5 at level 7, but I just fail every
Yeah.
time I try that.
I mean, it's a bit hard to explain without like a specific example. But the hardest part about loss streaking is making sure you get good losses.
Yes, I'm bad at that. I'm bad at that. I either get wiped or I'll like accidentally win.
Yeah, because the most important thing is that you kind of like line everything up.
That I do. I put them all on one side, so they focus fire the first unit. Yeah.
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 And then you want to then scouting is really important and like judging how strong they are, and then like keeping if you don't have like a thing that tracks your matchmaking, then that's also pretty important to see. So you know who you're playing against, and then kind of planning ahead so you know like when you're gonna spike and who you're gonna fight at that point, and who you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I blitz, so I know who to scout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the most important thing about anything, regardless if you're win streaking or loss streaking, is like having a clear plan. So like if you start to find yourself loss streaking, you need to think in your head that okay, I need to play a comp that can either roll at level 6 or 7.
So how much of that is?
And then hey, go
Sorry.
ahead.
So like, how much of that is having a plan and play? How much of that is like playing what the game gives you? Because you can hit
I
like
mean,
a
it's a mix
random.
of both, but like if the game gives you like a single gin when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
rolling at 7, it's probably not worth chasing because you need a lot of 2 stars for a gin to work. But if it gives you like an Urgot, then you're going to be fine because this Chemtech synergy is pretty strong, so it doesn't matter that much if your front line's not 2-star.
But that's patch dependent, right? Like last patch would Jin be better than Urgot?
Well, Jin's been the same since the first patch, where he's kind of like if he's a very first or eighth comp, where like if you hit like the 2-star Braum, 2-star Janna, 2-star Ori, all
Just
that, then you
blitz.
win. It's really hard to lose. But if you have like Braum 1-star and like not and like Leona 2-star maybe, and then like Janna 1-star, your front line is going to be a lot weaker because you're getting less healing into your front line, and Braum's going to be a lot more squishy. Then as soon as your front line dies, then you're pretty much just fine, unless
Yeah,
there's only like 1 or 2 units left. Because
yeah,
then you lose that on so much sniper damage.
yeah. I get that. Yeah, maybe I'll play Jin less. I've just played them more because I wanted to learn. Those are some nice ads you have on the side. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Or did I answer the lost streak one?
Yeah,
Well,
it's still more about like execution, I guess. And I'll probably just try to force Urgot more when I lose streak because he seems strong.
yeah. I also think that Trundle reroll is also one that's really good to play
Yeah,
on
I want to start playing
rolling
Trundle
at 3-2.
reroll. Yeah, or Arcanist reroll. They seem very interesting.
Yeah. Any other questions, or you just want to hop in game?
No, we can hop in.
Share screen.
Oh, average rank 4.5. I'm exactly where I belong. Or is that you on the bottom?
Me?
Oh, the average rank for me is 4.5.
Yeah, it's in your last 20.
So I'm exactly the elo I belong.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it makes sense that you kind of like started here and now you're still here. Are you sharing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Wait, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I accidentally hit the exit button instead of the share screen button. I am not in League of Legends yet. Let me log in. Okay, should I queue up?
Yeah.
You can see me.
Yeah. Good.
So how aggressively should I be slamming items? Not aggressively unless I'm win streaking.
We can take a look at the situations where you're offered, but you want to slam items if you can push a streak with it, or if it can save you a lot of HP and you need the item later.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
it also depends if you want to slam more. Also, if you are kind of fucked and you just have to pray for a top four.
yeah, the save a lot of HP thing, I don't know how to judge effectively. I normally go for bow start.
Yeah, especially when it's on an Ezreal, it's super good.
Yeah, sometimes I go for tier start. I had a few really good scholar and innovator games, but I don't know about that. It seems pretty strong because no one contests you, so you can always 3-star your Heimer. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know if no
It's,
one seems to like AP in this patch. So like, do I do this? This is good on all carries, right? Last Whisper.
yeah, pretty much all AD carries. Just play the two Ezreals.
Do I sell this and buy the other one costs, or
You can if you don't get gold, but
okay?
you definitely want to pick up Ziggs. You don't care that much about Camille, but Ziggs you really want for scrap.
Okay, I will sell Twitch if I have to. Do I sell
Ooh,
this?
you really want to hold on to that. Yeah, GP early is good if you get mercenaries as well.
Oh, yeah, I've also never played Mercenaries before. I played it once and I just like died. So,
All
so
right, what are you
I'm
thinking?
probably weak spot, but the one on the left seems interesting because you can just put in a Jace later, or you can put in Vi like now if we want to do bruisers. But the right one is probably like the most consistent.
I would go Enforcer here, mostly because you're probably gonna slam Last Whisper, and then weak spot's gonna be useless.
Oh, does it not scale? So it's not
No,
90%?
no,
Okay, so the pen completely is worthless if you get uh
yeah, yeah. You can just play the Vi
oh, okay.
over the GP.
Right, because I get enforcer. Do I sell everything to make interest?
No. You probably just want to pick up. It's not that much to pick up.
So I hit my so like right now I probably don't level, right? Because I'm weak.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And do I do this or do I slam both these so I can get my
Yeah,
scrap and my last whisper?
yeah, I definitely make Last Whisper and then play towards AD. I probably play Bruisers will allow you over the Zigs. I think that's going to give you more power than an extra bow. Yep, allowing the chop.
Oh, okay, but I lose freaking scrap. But I guess
Yeah, that's fine. You can still bow the Ezreal, but like you're getting more frontline instead of an extra bow. And Sig's 1 star is not going to like help you out that much, especially when Vi is going to die right away if she's like the only frontliner alive.
right, that makes sense. Do I win this? No, I don't win this.
You get a good loss.
Do I sell
You
everything?
pick up Caitlyn. No, no, you just hold on for 1 more turn at
Okay,
least.
I think I'm too greedy then. I would always sell everything here to make 10.
Yeah, because you want to give yourself the opportunity to be strong. Because you, but right here, if you look at your bench, which units do you really want to hold?
Uh, Probably just the Ezreal.
Yeah, I would say Ezreal and Singed, and maybe 1 Sigs for potential scrap. So you can definitely sell off here by selling Graves, GP, Swain, and then if you lose, you can sell off a.
I don't
Actually,
think.
you can just sell off the Garen to pick up Singed.
Oh, okay. I'll sell off Garen if I lose.
Because we want to make sure we're giving ourselves the chance to get strong. Because right now, if we just hit like a 2 star Ezreal and then get on like a 2 star Ziggs, then we're strong all of a sudden.
Okay, I do the opposite of that. So I guess I don't give myself a chance to high roll as often as I should.
Yeah, it's really important when you're win streaking because if you would have sold on 2-1, then you're basically open forwarding, and you can only open forward if you are like hard forcing a comp, or if you know exactly what your plan should be.
Mm.
Like forcing or like open forwarding can be good on like stuff like Cogner.
So I do this,
You just play the Alawi as well because you're level 4 now.
right?
Then you just scout for blitzcranks and stuff. It's only one.
Do you still position anti for it? Or would you put like Vi here
Yeah,
and
you
then
just want to. No, it's fine. It's fine. You just want to make sure that your Ezreal doesn't get grabbed because then you're not going to save any. Then you're not going to kill any units. But you don't really care about positioning that much more because you're kind of okay with losing, but you're okay with winning as well. Because when if you win this next one, you're probably going to be able to keep the streak. I would also just buy the Echo as well because you don't lose eco for it.
right? Would you go for 4 scrap if you had a Trundle or Blitz?
Yeah, poor scrap. Like if you get Trundle next shop, play that over Lowy level for Echo.
Would you buy everything if you can just to make the shop odds better if you're looking for pairs? I know it's like a small thing.
Only when you don't have a lot to do in the turn.
Oh, like if you're
Because if you have a lot to do, it takes up way too much time, and then you kill time
do I go
basically
for
on nothing,
sword?
giving yourself like tiny chances.
Do I go for
I
sword or
think
cloak?
sword or cloak. Cloak would be good to slam because you can slam, but it's a 3 gold sword there, so I would take that.
This guy took it. How much
Now
do
the chain is also good because it's 3 gold.
Yeah, how much do you value the gold sell value of the champion versus like the item?
When there's nothing you're super excited about taking, then you almost always value gold more. Like for example, if there was like a 3 gold cloak, you would pretty much always take it, even though having like multiple cloaks is not like the best.
Do I slam?
No,
Okay.
you're not gonna get any value out of Giant Slayer right now, and you don't know if you're gonna get value out of it later.
Right. Should I sell something to make interest? Probably my
I would just level up and play the cinched.
Oh, right, to maintain the streak. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
and just pick up the allowed pair. Sell off the. I would also just sell off the Kagi and sell off the Grapes just to not clog your bench. And then pick up Caitlyn pair as well.
Okay, okay. Yes, I would have definitely missed that.
Because there's kind of at least I'm a big proponent of if you have a clear bench, you have a clear land kind of deal. So just like if you ever if there's a unit on your bench, you got to think, okay, is there a situation in the near future when I'm playing this, or do I really need this unit late game?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is no to both of these, then you just sell it off. So, for example, Darius, are you going to play it anytime soon?
Yeah.
Probably not. Do you need it late game? Definitely not. Like the only time you need that late game is like maybe in like it's you kind of do that with like TF. You might hold like a TF 1 star on your bench for 5 syndicate.
Wait. Okay. I go Jin now, right? This game is asking me to play Jin.
Yeah. So like right now, if you look at your board, you don't have a single unit for Jin.
That is true.
So then the question is, or I guess you have Caitlyn paired. So then the question is just whether it's worth to hold or not.
Yeah. Do I sell the Caitlyn pair or the Echo for interest? Or like one Caitlyn?
What do you think would be give you like the biggest power spike mid game?
Is if I hit Echo 2.
Yeah, I think for scrap would be like what's going to give you the biggest power spike. So I would definitely sell off the yeah. So,
Oh, I win.
you might still win if Vi ults.
He did not.
Actually,
Oh
never
wait,
mind.
no.
You
One
still
more
win.
auto. One more auto. Yeah. Yeah, I've never played more than 2 scrap as well. So with
Yeah.
4
So you kind of
scrap,
see here. It's just really important to recognize here, like how like if you would have probably gone on a 5 loss here, but instead we went on a 2 loss, just chilled, sat on pairs, hit pairs, then went on a 3-1 streak.
but we lost like the 2 gold of interest. Come on. Yeah, I'm messing. So with 4 scrap, you line everything up in the back and you give everyone 1 item.
Yeah, you give 3 people an item, but you're gonna pick up Trundle here in the shop.
Oh, nice. Wait,
Also, it's important here to keep in mind like which units you're fine with selling to potentially make eco.
I think I
You
sell
can just
these
sell
2.
those two off on the left. Yeah, just sell off those two. But like for example, here you would be okay to sell off Caitlyn pair to make 40 gold, or to sell off both the Caitlyns.
Yep. Sometimes I still don't know what the items make, so I have to like double check real quick.
So what would you do here? Definitely check the next up people first before you decide. You want level 6.
I have scrap, but oh, like you want me to level to 6 to?
No, I wouldn't now, but I would just swap sides for the Lissandra if you got time. So you can just leave the cinched out to like bait out the thing, and then just put Alawi like that. Yeah.
So what was the Sandra thing like? What was the meaning of that?
Kiss Morello is gonna hit your entire team,
Oh,
or
you
would have
want him
hit
to
your entire team if you.
you want him to just hit one person, so the AOE is not as good.
Yeah, because he didn't really have any damage. You just had Pat Chemtech, so he's just gonna stall for a really long time. And he's gonna get a ton of value from.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Also, one thing, unless you saw a Blitzcrank on the enemy teams, we should always try to corner our main carries, but
Okay.
it's fine. Scouting is a bit gets a bit complicated when there's you're getting coached.
Do I put the
All right,
scrap in? I think that's weaker though, because I lose a star.
yeah, I would get for scrap in, but this is not the best way to get it in.
Oh, how do I get it in?
You do that, and then you play Echo over the Ziggs, and then you level for Blitzcrank. And then if there's an enemy Blitzcrank, you just corner the Singed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do I do like the
Wait.
one item on each
Wait,
person?
wait, never mind. We have to play. Yeah, put Bow on the Trundle. Yeah, it's fine. You're gonna have to do it next turn. Because we didn't get. Forgot to put in the Trundle. Yes, Bow the Trundle and Rod the Echo. And those are gonna be your.
Oh, instead of Blitzcrank.
Yeah, you don't care about it. It's not Blitzcrank. Just pick up the Vi pair as well. And then sell off Sigs to buy the Zac.
Alright, because we're
And
doing
from this,
Bruiser.
all right, let's just first do the augments, and then we'll talk about like macro what you're thinking about, or where you think we should go from here, because
Yeah, I would have missed
it's like
these
the
then.
most important.
Probably Stand United or Knife Edge is no, probably Stand United. I don't know if Ascension's
So,
good.
all right, first of all, which comp are you thinking about playing? Because that actually matters when picking augment here.
Probably
Which comps do you think we can play from this spot?
Bruiser Urgot seems like a good choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I would be leaning more to. I would be defaulting towards Urgot here.
You can play Trundle
Any other?
Reroll.
Yeah, could do that as well.
Yeah.
Although you already slammed Last Whisper and you don't have a single cloak, so it's going to be really hard. But
Right. Yeah. So probably Urgot.
mm-hmm. So which augment do you want to take?
Probably Stand United. I don't. Ascension's not good on Urgot, right? Because the fights don't last that long.
Yeah, I would take Knife's Edge because you get a lot of value out of it right now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So
And
for
then
Urgot,
put Trundle in over the Singed
oh, over the
because you
same.
need force trapping. Yeah, and then just make sure you put Ezreal on 2 rows up, so he gets Knife's Edge value, and then you're good.
So for Urgot, it's okay to put him on the second row.
Yeah, you always have Urgot on the second row.
Oh, you always.
Because he has a pretty short range, and if he's out of range, then he has to waste his spell walking up, and then you're wasting all your damage, because all of Urgot's damage comes from his spell. Like, his auto attacks, like, deal nothing.
Okay, I did not know that. I always put him on like the third row.
Yeah, because if he wastes time walking up, then you're just wasting a ton. You're pretty much just wasting all your damage if he's doing it while he's casting a spell.
So I'm thinking Cloak, but then the swords are on the higher cost guy.
So if you look at your items,
Oh, I have a
you have
sword.
a Bobo sword.
So,
Yeah, I would
so
definitely
probably
go for a cloak for Hurricane, or go for the glove for IE would have been good as well. I haven't tested out Deathblade Urgot since they did the change to him, but Hurricane still feels the best. So you just put like Ezreal 2 more to the right.
And then slam Hurricane and give him a blood sword.
Yeah. And then what you can do is you can just put Blitzcrank like far down into the corner to bait for other Blitzcranks in case there are any. And then just put Trundle in front of the like there, one more or above Ezreal, so that in case they're overloading the left side, then they might walk down to Ezreal.
What about the locket value? You gotta luck the locket from the scrap.
I mean, it's a one in. I guess it doesn't really matter where you place them, but the most important thing is just placing our frontline units correctly.
Just sell the Singed and the Kates.
I think you're fine selling off the Caitlins, but I would hold on to the Singed. Would also just hold the Fiora and the Quinn here, because you could also play Challenger Yon.
That is true.
Because if you get GA or QSS as your last item, you're good to go. Yeah, just put Vibe where the Trundle is, or between the two frontliners, like that. Yeah.
He's got a blitz.
Right now, what's your plan in terms of like economy? Like, do you want to roll at 7? Or are you thinking about going fast 8? Or
I'm
what are you
winning,
thinking?
but I would roll down at least a bit at 4-1 because I don't think I can win on stage 4 unless I make this board a lot better. I don't know how good 4 scrap is though.
So generally, to answer that question, you really want to spend a lot of time scouting next turn, looking at who your next up people are, seeing how strong they are, how likely are they to roll. Because if all your next up people are rolling, then you probably
have to
want to roll a little bit at least,
how do you know if they're gonna roll?
You just look at their position, and you kind of have to think: if I was in this position, would I roll at 7? So look at, for example, pick one of the next up people. So 66 HP, this is your board.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this guy would definitely roll because he's almost dead. This guy would probably roll. This guy's might not roll. Well, unless he's probably going to roll to get Cho. Or I don't know how to play this cop.
Is he level 7? It's a bit
level
lower,
6.
I can say. Yeah, you might. He's probably gonna go 7 before he rolls more. But.
Yeah, yeah. So
And then you can check like or just pick up all your stuff first. You're probably going to
so
want to
do I,
roll a little bit here. Level up. I would level up and roll a little bit because you have a lot of pairs to hit, and you also only have two star units. Probably roll into like 20 gold. I'd like sell off the Samira as well. Just not clog
so
your
what am I
bench.
looking for? Sorry.
Oh yeah, you can look for. You were looking for Urgot primarily, and then also challenger units. You don't want to. You want to. Don't want to have your entire bench filled up with like some Chemtechs and some challengers potentially.
Oh, I got them.
Okay, so
So I sell the challenger guys.
yeah, I would just sell off the challengers, commit to Urgot. So you want to sell off the Leona as well for econ.
Okay. So do I sell Ez and put all his items on Urgot, or is Ez 2 better than Urgot 1?
We can take it. Wait, let me first see the your spot here. Because if you play that over the you do that, yeah, and then
Then sell.
we're really gonna remake the or you play Zach over the Trundle, and then you play. Yeah, you probably drop the 4 bruisers. So you play Singed over the Ilaoi for 5 Chemtech. And then you put Last Whisper, Hurricane, and Urgot, and you. I think it's better to go for.
IE? Or
Yeah, I think we're fine. So I think you want to greed for IE, but you can put Sword on him,
wait, I
on the
have
Urgot.
IE.
Yeah, or GA, I mean, sorry.
Oh,
To
okay.
greed for GA.
I thought
So I just sell off the Trundles, sell off the Blitzcrank, sell off the and sell off the Leona.
okay. I thought GA was only good if you're facing like a lot of assassins, or else you want the IE to do more damage.
It's also good against Arcanus because you don't give Lux resets, and it also like cancels like the Malzahar ulti and stuff. And
Okay.
his ult keeps going while he's in the revival mode.
So do I give
But what other items do you want to make?
do I make Morellos on this?
I would make it on Echo
Right.
because he's 2-starred right now.
Do I give Archangels to Echo? Like
I'd definitely raw the Echo first, and then think about it. Because if you are going GA, and what other items? You don't really have that many other items you can make with these
who do you
until you
play?
hit like Jinx.
Yeah, I was gonna say who do you play as second carry? I was gonna ask about Jinx. It kind of feels like you need to hit 9 to guarantee a Jinx, because with a 4%, sometimes you roll down like 80 gold and you don't hit the Jinx.
Yeah. Jinx also sucks, so it's mostly just to be
Twin
like
shot.
sometimes she pops off, sometimes she does nothing.
How good is Sisters?
If you have Jinx 2-star, it's really good.
Okay.
But usually you run 5 for Bruisers, anyways, in Kentucky.
Okay. So we should be scouting to see how strong we are. Okay, I need the armor, so it's on the Trundle.
Yeah, that's fine. If you don't get armor, what do you take?
I don't know. The most expensive guy, so this Kaisa.
I think that I'd probably go for the probably go gun for probably sword for
Sword.
like Sojin maybe,
Oh, so who do you put
or
Sojin on?
in either Lysandra or you put it on Victor if you do end up hitting him.
Right. Okay. Okay. I beat
How
this
much
guy.
is it to level here, real quick? Because I think you could just
48.
level to play about 48.
So I'll
I
be
think
at
it's time
30.
to level here to play a lot because you get a nice power spike here.
Okay, yeah, these two people seem really weak though. How good is Warwick reroll? He's 1 away.
I mean, with only a Shiv, it's not that great because he just gets CC'd, but
Yeah, I saw a game where he had Death's Defiance and 3-star, and he was fucking insane. He just would never die.
yeah, because it did.
I
Yeah, it's not like you would fight this guy because he rolled to 0 and he hit everything.
Oh yeah, he got his level
so we
2
can't
here.
play the game.
So do I roll down at 5-1 to hit my Urgot 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're gonna get back up to like 50 gold.
Do I take Knife's Edge? There's a bug, I think, where you need to move your units every turn with Knife's Edge, 2 Knife's Edge, I think, but that's fine.
I
Heal
don't
as well.
know if that is true.
We could
But I think that right now, if you do you think you need more healing on your units to win, or do you think you just need more damage?
uh I mean both are win con, right? I
I
would
mean, I
say
think that right now I think you definitely want more damage because you already get healing through Chemtech, and you have like GA on Urgot as well as a defensive item.
let's see, he's a 155 attack. We'll check back in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he hit it. This item's so freaking broken on these guys. Heals like 1,000
Yeah,
health per tick. Okay.
you need Giant Slayer, but
So how big a deal is Giant Slayer against those big guys? Because it's like 40% more, but it seems like
it's a lot of extra damage. It's what like, so you're multiplying your damage by 80% instead of 20.
wait, I
So
thought
you're
it
getting
was
60%
60.
more damage.
Yeah.
Unless they nerf it again. No. I swear to God, it's 20 if not, and then 80 if they're over the threshold.
The bonus increases to 60. It's not an additional, the way I read it.
Okay, well it's still worth it anyways because you're getting it's like a better it's better than crit because crit is like 30% extra,
Oh, the crit
but
is not 100?
yeah,
So,
because you take your damage and then you deal 130% of it.
so like if you hit for 100 and you crit, it would crit for 130?
Yeah,
Okay, that I thought crit was double, like in most video
yeah,
games.
I thought so too for a long time.
So do I
Yeah, really
slam?
want to focus on rolling first because the most important thing here is that we hit our units and then we can think about items.
Do I need the trundle? I don't have trundle.
You don't need roll. You need Kench and you need Urgot 2-star. So you just need to roll right now. That's the most important thing. Just to hit the 2-stars right now. Because you want Jinx. You also want to pick up GP if you've hit it. Because you're probably not going to hit Jinx. Zach, keep going.
Fuck.
Here's kind of the thing. You don't wanna pick up like Fiora and like want to sell off the Fiora, the Jhin, the Kaisa, because now you didn't roll through all your gold, and you can just chill now. You can sell off the okay, buy that and sell that off just to eco until next turn. But like here, you didn't hit or got 2-star, and big
Yeah.
part of that is because you picked up a lot of random units, and it just wasted a ton of your time.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now you took a lot of damage because of it.
Yes. Yes. That is very bad.
Just keep rolling. You gotta hit all your frontline 2-stars.
Okay. Do I put GP in instead of
Yeah,
Echo?
put it in over Echo, and then Morello de Losandra, and then think about items. Just put GP where the Mundo is, and then get Mundo up front. So what
So
items are you thinking about making here?
damage item for list. I don't know. Probably static shiv and hat.
Probably hat the Mundo if anything, because Lysandra's only 1-star, but you can have
It's
hat or
too.
no.
It's too
And
late.
then I'd probably just reforge the bow. Just buy a random unit. Or yeah, that works too. Okay, belt's really good because you can make
Redemption.
redemption.
Oh, look at that. Oh, what? Oh man.
Wow, that's really lucky.
Yeah. So redemption the Mundo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Let's just keep rolling. Yeah, make that. Keep rolling first.
For
Before you
just
fix anything else.
Zack and
Yeah,
GP.
GP 2-star, Zach 2-star. There's
So,
Ken. She played over Alawi.
oh, okay. And do I feed him Alawi?
Yeah, just feed him something. It's fine. Keep rolling though. And just check positioning.
Give me the 3 gold. Oh, I might win here. Maybe no. Well, maybe. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the GA diff.
Yeah.
That's why it's good on Urgot.
So I'm thinking Frozen Heart.
Is there a lot of? I would probably go.
It's AP.
Um,
AP. Okay, it's all AP actually. Another
Frozen Art's
redemption.
fine. You can't. Frozen Art's fine. Redemptions works if you have time to.
Oh, okay. I think I got the redemption. Oh, what? Okay, I failed.
Yeah, just put it on Ken. Put it on Ken. Shit's fine.
And
Just roll. If you hit a Lysandra, buy it so you can remake and put the items on the Kench. GP2, you take it. Just want to get as strong as possible. Keep rolling. Because if you hit a Lysandra, then you, you can feed that. That's fine. Because if you hit a Lysandra, you can sell it and then to put the items over onto
oh right.
the Kench.
Do I put the gloves on like a tank just for the dodge?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. This is looking not bad. Wait, it's looking horrible.
Yeah, it's comp counters start out pretty hard because you don't have you just have consistent DPS and then healing's really good against that.
At least I got 4th. I don't know. If I did that round better, I'd have 1 more life, I think. But I don't know if I can probably maybe push to 3rd.
Yeah, it's also like if you were on the correct side, like, so if you hit if you okay, we can take a look at the VOD. We'll have a bit of time to look at the VOD, so we'll take a look at that. We can
So
see.
correct side is like same side against Seraphine? Or
Yeah, and also not clumping.
not
I'll pull up the VOD. It'll be easier to explain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I will exit this game. Yeah, sometimes positioning is all I know is the same side for I think Jin or whatever. So he gets less sniper value, but I don't. And Ori, you have to like bait the ability or Lux.
So already here, you should already be thinking about like here, what comp you want to default towards already on the stage.
What should
Because
I
now
be
you already
looking at?
see.
Should I be looking
Wait,
at
sorry.
something?
Oh, you can. Yeah, can you see my screen? Try
Wait.
to stop sharing on your end, then no.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at your screen now.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
Do you see here? I have the glove and the bow.
Yeah.
Since we started bow, we are relatively likely to get another one. So we probably want to lean towards a comp that uses a lot of bows and that can use Last Whisper. Because if we can slam Last Whisper on Ezreal early game is really good. And so then the first thing you do is just to draft. You want to draft your stage 2 board, and you want to pick something that defaults well into the comp you want to end up playing. And so already here, I would be thinking mostly about Chemtech or Challengers. But
Yeah.
so you want to pick up Ezreal, Twitch, and Singed, and then you also want Sigs for the scrap, so you sell off this student. You don't get gold.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And then, yeah, it's because the stuff doesn't stack. Also, weak spot is one of those you almost never want to grab.
Oh, okay. I'll grab it less.
It's pretty. It's like when you're if you have like well, even with assassin here, you could play Shaco. It's not like it can work since you can get 5 syndicate in a lot easier because you're not relying on a collie when you have assassin because you can run you run yeah and fit for assassin. But Enforcer is really good. You get a buy good unit early game. Also a Bruiser frontline's good early game.
Okay.
And so then you have 2 enforcers and with 2 bruisers if you hit like an Alawi or an early Zac or a Trundle,
Right. I need to value
which is
more. Yeah.
yeah, which is a likely scenario. Additionally, if you think about the comps we want to default towards with our item opener and our current board, since we have an AD item opener and an AD champ opener with Ezreal carry, we want to end up with either Yone or Urgot. With Urgot, you run Vi for Enforcer, and with Yone, you run Fiora for Enforcer. So you're always getting value out of the Enforcer here.
Right.
Even if you end up playing Jhin, you get Enforcer through Caitlyn or Jace.
With Yone, do you run bodyguards?
Yeah, you run Leona Brown to get to Academy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Also, the resistances Leona gives Yone is also really powerful.
Right.
To make him tankier.
That makes sense.
So I would it's Enforcer is almost like an insta grab in my eyes here. Like
Okay.
there's no good argument for any of the other two.
Yeah. No, that makes sense now that you explained it.
Yeah, so just same thing. Always play the units you want to keep
Yes.
on the board, so you can sell these here. And then since we haven't hit Ezreal 2-star, we never want to pre-level.
So
It's
if you
not
did,
worth it for it.
would you pre-level and try to win the early game?
Yeah, if you hit Ezreal 2-star, I think it's perfectly fine to pre-level here because then you get a chance to hit MF for potential mercenaries, and you also get a chance to hit Echo for potential for scrap, and you also get a higher chance of hitting Trundle for Bruiser scrap.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so instantly here, first question you got to ask yourself: Can we streak or not? And then it's really good that you were proactive in answering that question, thinking out we're in the best room, we can't streak.
Yeah.
So then the next question is like, how close are any of the units on our bench useful? And so like we could maybe have sold off these two, but then we can't buy the Alawi or Ziggs. So then we're stuck.
So it's not worth.
We can we can almost not buy anything, and then also if you hit like a Graves 2-star, random Graves 2-star is still going to be useful. And if you play Chemtech, you can actually like play it late game if you don't hit Jinx.
Right, for the twin shot, yeah.
Yeah, same thing with Singed. You kind of want to hold him as well because he's an innovator. And if you hit a Zillion, if you hit like Singed 2-star, Ezreal 2-star with a Singed, or a Zillion, I mean,
yeah,
the crabs can be like relatively strong.
Yeah, I need to start.
So there's just
thinking about my comp earlier in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't want to. Because the only time you would ever open fort here would be to force Kog'Maw, which would be fine because you got half a Rage Blade, half a Shiv, or half Shiv Giant Slayer, and then half a Hodge.
Right.
Because then you could just sell, and then pick up Kassadin and just run these 3. Yeah, Caitlyn as well is there. So that would be the only scenario where you would like just sell everything in open port, go for a 5 loss streak, get your items, get your tons of gold.
Yeah. Is open fort better than like putting weak units in? Like, what do you mean by open fort?
Open porting means that you're accepting that you're only focusing on making econ. You don't care about saving your HP at all during the early game.
Okay, I think I.
But if you're like going for
much.
Yeah, but like when you're playing for a loss streak, you're more so doing what we're doing here by like, we're just waiting, kind of like waiting to get strong, like sort of.
So what would you do
Like we're
if
doing
you?
here, we're holding a ton of units to give ourselves the opportunity to hit this 2-star, hit this 2-star, hit this 2-star, potentially like this 2-star.
So like if you won 2-1, what would you do there? Would you still play the same and probably lose the next one?
The thing is, then if you 1-2-1, then you are only going to continue your streak if like the entire lobby is like turbo low rolling.
Okay, you.
Because if you beat somebody with this board, it's another player that's also like that's gonna be weaker than us.
Yeah. Let's say you match into the one person who's really weak, or like the 2 people who are really weak. One of the 2. You would still like.
So sometimes like it happens when you go on like a 3-win streak and you look at your board and you're just like, what the hell happened? And you look at the last 4 people you can fight next, and they're just super strong.
Okay, and then there's nothing you can do, right? You just lose your win streak. by force.
Yeah, that's almost like really good because then you wouldn't have gotten your loss streak griefed if you fought, like the two strongest play people here, and then you fight like one of the weaker people, then you fight the two strongest people here, and you go lose lose win lose lose.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah, it's just really important that you kind of see the importance of or at least like seeing that you are not that far away from getting strong here by hitting this 2-star, potentially like this 2-star,
Yeah.
this 6 2-star also helps. That's like the most important thing here. Also, slamming Last Whisper. Does that any questions about that? Like,
No, I like last stuff like Last Whisper and IE are like instant slams for me, and then I can force one of the AD comps. That's usually how I
I'd say
play.
IE is probably less of an instant slam, mostly because it's like a third item at most for Yon and Urgot, and like a third item for Jin as well,
So like
almost.
Runans would be
Or
like
it could,
more of an instant slam.
Runance is instant slam because it's really good on literally every single AD carry in the game.
Actually, yeah.
It's
What
probably like the.
I was gonna
Sorry,
ask
go
you
ahead.
what items are good instant slams.
I would say that if you have an AD opener, I would say Hurricane, Last Whisper, Hurricane and Last Whisper, and Morello is. If you have a holder for Morello, that's also usually an instant slam. And
And so who
can't really.
holds? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Morello, you usually play like TF Echo. Those can hold it,
Okay,
and Swain is not like the worst either.
sure. And you were gonna say something else, and I interrupted
Oh, I was just thinking about like more items, but there just it depends a lot on your situation. But the most important thing is you got to think about like if you don't slam Last Whisper, then you're sitting on two bows. So then are you slamming RFC? And then probably not because Last Whisper is way more flexible and more of a core item on most champions. Like the only time you would slam RFC there, it would be if you're like forcing Trundle to reroll because then sometimes you can have you can have RFC instead of QSS and sometimes instead of BT as well
So if you
with
got like
Trundle.
two belts or two chain mails, would you slam the defensive items?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, this is what I was gonna say. Because in terms of like, because you don't always end up with three items on your main carries, then you also got to think about, like, say if you have a glove left over, what item do you want to make with that? So like right now we have an open bow,
Yeah.
and so we want to proactively think about try to turn this into an item for our main for a carry that can use Last Whisper. And so Hurricane is like the most obvious one because it's like a core item on both Urgot and Jin, or not Jin, but Urgot and Yone. It's a really good item on Jin. And so then we really want to be thinking about we don't have to take a cloak right here, but we can if we don't get a cloak here, then we definitely want to take it on like the third carousel, most likely.
Right. So if we don't get a cloak, like would a sword be good with the crit glove to make IE? If we had the crit glove on the bench as well.
Yeah, IE is good if you made Last Whisper, but usually you wanna like IE is not that great unless you have like Last Whisper.
Okay.
Because you're more so focused on getting like the most important items for your carries first, and IE isn't one of them. It's just not one of them.
So like the relative strengths of the items, it's like a big deal. The difference between like a okay item and a good item.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever play Yon without Hurricane, you will feel like the champion isn't doing anything. Um,
Okay.
if you haven't played a lot of Yon, or if you play Yon without it, you'll kind of get what I mean. Sometimes also if you don't have Last Whisper on Urgot and you face against bodyguards, you just don't deal any damage and you take 20 at 20
Yes.
HP.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So like if you slam IE, then you're making yourself harder on yourself to hit the Last Whisper later by using
Right.
the glove. Because then you gotta get since you already got dropped the glove naturally, it will be harder to get, or it's less likely to get that naturally. So then you have to get it from a carousel.
Yeah, that's right.
And then if you're not making a good item out of the other two, then it's going to be even harder to. Then you have like more items that you gotta complete, and you kind of want to focus on one by one.
Okay.
That makes sense at all,
Yeah, yeah.
'cause-
Just like prioritize your higher items, and it's okay to keep components on the bench if
Yeah, if you can't make anything good, then just don't make anything. But then that kind of gets into like another thing where sometimes if you just low roll, then you kind of got to see that you aren't in a position to get anything better than like a fourth, so then you might slam them anyways, play super aggressive just to save all the HP you can.
and get fourth. Okay. How do you know if you're low rolling like during stage 2 or like 3, midway through stage 3?
I would say like this once you are sitting on like these items, and when we can't really make anything good with these, we have like rod, boat. Like and if we don't hit jinx, these are like pretty worthless items. So it's gonna be so already here. I think that we are not gonna win this game, just based off our items.
So like,
that's kind of the information it tells you. So then you need to be. So then like maybe some people might have also like rolled here to try to hit Urgot 2-star, but then also before you do that, you want to make sure you're scouting to do like the same analysis we did at Wolves to see how many people are rolling here.
So what?
Because if we would have known we would have fought this player, then we would have wanted to roll here.
What would the 3
Right.
items have to be to make you think we could win this game?
Maybe like a Titans or Redemption. Basically, any tank items on Minto.
Okay, tank items.
If you get a 2-star.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
or if you actually hit a jinx, you'd see because you kind of saw like the items we ended up with. We didn't really. We got like Death Cap. It's gonna be useless on like a Lissandra, but we ended up getting a Reforger, which is unlikely, but we got a bit lucky, and then it ended up we reforged the bow into a belt, so we made Redemption.
So you would have put the Death Cap on Mundo because does he scale with the hat?
Yeah, he deals more damage, and not 2-star because there was a guy with Lissandra 3-star, so it's hard to hit or 2-star. It scales with his damage, and he also heals more with it. Yeah, with his spell.
So if they were both 2-star, you would put it on Lissandra the hat.
No, I'd probably still put it on
Mundo.
On this dude. The reason why I like Sojin and stuff on her is just because the AD shred is good and the Morello apply is good. Like Lissandra 2-star is not a carry; she's just a utility unit. Like you just applying a bunch of utility. The Sojin gives her more mana, so she can shred the attack damage more often, and also apply Morello more often.
Wait, how does she shred attack damage?
It's built in with her spell.
Okay.
Everybody who gets hit by Lissandra gets minus 40% AD.
Okay, I need to read.
So it's really bad if your Jhin gets fucked by it.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. I didn't know that Lissandra did that.
Yeah, we're running a little bit low on time, but I think the biggest takeaway is that the early game, I would say. Because the mid game went fine. It's just small stuff. Like if you haven't played that much for scrap, it makes sense that it's a bit hard to spot out what the best scrap board here is.
Okay, yeah, and reroll faster during the 4-1 or whenever we
the short version is that Sig sucks, and when you have Ezreal 2-star, you have enough damage. You just need to keep him alive. So that's why you play the 2 tank units over the damage guy.
So how do you know like what units suck and what units can carry the stage 2 and stage 3? So like this Ez and then
it comes a little bit from experience, but also if you it almost only comes from experience. But you can also like try to watch some pro players or high challenger players play, and then see which early game carries they value.
Okay.
But like Sigs is really inconsistent. The only time Sigs is good is if they're all clumping in here, and then you have a strong front line, so that he casts a spell and actually lands and hits multiple units. Because he, in theory, can deal damage to 7 units at once.
Right.
That's why his damage is pretty low.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think this decision is also. I think it's fine. Like first, here it's pretty important to. This is why it's always really important to always keep in the back of your head like which comps can I end up playing, because then these decisions come a lot quicker. Since Challenger is open, or is a comp we can end up playing, then Ascension is terrible in Challengers because you either win the fight within like the first 5 or 10 seconds with Challengers, or you just lose. So you never get value out of this. And Chemtech as well, it's not that great because it kind of has the similar. It is a bit similar to Challengers. And if Urgot can't get through the front line at all, then you usually lose.
Yeah.
I think this is only good in like the Socialite comp because Galio wastes a ton of time and Scion stunts for a long time and stuff. Also good in like the
Healing.
Innovator comp with all the healing stuff.
Okay, cool.
Stand United is, since right now we don't get that much value out of it, and it's only good in comps where you know you're running like Yuumi and Jace late game, then you get a ton of value from it. But
I was
sorry, go
asking what
ahead.
comps run Yuumi and Jace late game, like challengers.
Um,
I mean, knives would be better in challengers for sure.
pretty much the Innovator comp, Stand United is pretty good against that because you get a wide spread of synergies because you run Jace for Innovator and then you run Yuumi for Scholar occasionally.
Okay, yeah.
And then, but the reason why Knife's Edge is so good here is because it's amazing in Yone, and it's also really good in Urgot, because you usually will always put Urgot on the second row, especially if you have Knife's Edge.
Okay.
But Knife's Edge is really good here just because these two are bad. Or Stand United is okay, but you're never like great. You never feel great about taking Stand United unless you're playing like Innovator Enchanter stuff, or like
yeah.
a wide specialty comp.
Cool.
Also, the skip to this part was when we started scouting. Is also one thing. This matters a lot more once you get closer to masters, like scouting to checking how much everybody else is rolling. That helped me a lot.
So what do you
And
mean? Do
like,
you get the gold to see how much they have? To see if they're
okay,
rolling?
let's wait. Let me just wait until you scout one of them. Okay, I'm just waiting until the video comes down. So if we
Okay.
look at this guy, level 6, 50 gold. We don't know how close he is to
7.
level 7, but he's probably like relative. He's probably like on the standard econ path where he has at least like
10
halfway
gold.
towards
Okay.
level 7.
His board
And
sucks though.
so yeah, his board sucks. He's probably gonna end up playing Lux.
Right, with the crit.
Or some form of either that or he can end up playing innovators because he already has like the 2-star this guy, but he doesn't have any of the other innovator units. And so he's probably going to. He has like 66 HP. This is like it's not foolproof. This method because I think this guy ended up doing a fast 8.
Mm-hmm.
But like here, I would have seen that this guy would roll because he ended up he doesn't have any other 2-star units and he doesn't have anything in his pair.
So
I
if
think this is
he's
like an extra
rolling,
tier.
it means we have to roll?
It means that this guy is going to be stronger because if this board in its current state, we can probably like you got to think: can we beat this board? Yes or no?
Yeah, easily.
If it's yeah, well then you're fine. So then you don't need to
But it's
worry
gonna be
about him. But
stronger though.
if he ends up rolling, then you need to worry about him. So then you know you're probably going to take around like 10 damage. Like this is probably one of the hardest things. So it's probably not the main thing you should focus on, but I think it's worth to keep in the back of your head because you will usually have a lot of downtime. So it's
Right.
just a really good thing to just get in. Because if you know if you're gonna lose against them, then that's one player you're especially since he's next up, you're probably gonna fight him between 4-1, 4-2, or 4-3. You're very likely to fight him in one of those 3 stages.
Right.
And so then there's this dude. He is he's probably going to, although he's pretty far away, but he's probably forced to roll down. At least until he hits like Katarina. He's probably gonna roll until he hits at least like Katarina 2-star or unless he like pivots into Dion. But either way, he's so low, he's definitely gonna be rolling. So we know that this player is also somebody we might lose.
How do I tell if I'm gonna lose to someone or not? Do I just look at the carries in the front line?
That's that'll just come from games played mostly.
Okay.
But the most effective way is to make it's to make like a hypothesis. That's a hard word to say. And then think, okay, I think I'll beat this. When you fight him, you either win, and then you think, okay, I fought him because of, or I won, and then you won because maybe your Ezreal stayed alive, did a ton of damage, or maybe you lost, and then like say Katarina 2-star did a ton more damage than you expected. And then like was it because you clumped up all your units, or was it just that you undervalued her damage?
Right.
And then you kind of learn, okay, Katarina is still a bit stronger than I think she was. And then that's kind of like an experience that you bring into future games.
Okay.
Because there's only so many comps and boards that people run that you will usually find people with like similar boards. And then the more times you've judged boards and gain experience thinking about whether you're stronger or weaker than them, the easier it is in the future. But it is very hard. It's like probably it's one of the hardest skills in the game
Right.
to do.
So like, what's the one thing I can do right now that would give me like the biggest bang for my buck that I should focus on? Like, if you pick one thing or two things.
The early game and thinking about like planning ahead with your items. That's like number one.
Right.
So, like for example, we're fine slamming Glass Whisper here because of all the we already talked a ton about
Yep.
this,
Yeah.
and then focusing on okay, how do I get value out of this bow? What component do I need to turn this into a valuable item? And then like kind of thinking one item at a time.
Okay. What about those early games where like the fucking 1-3 camp drops like 4 items or 5 items?
You can't get more than 3 items. You can
Okay.
only get like you have situations though where you have where you only get one item and you get a ton of gold, but it's very unlikely. Sometimes you only get 2 items, but then it's kind of the same thing. If you can't slam, then you just chill.
Okay.
You're gonna have a lot of gold, so you're gonna get a. So you're gonna be able to probably go level 8 on like 4-2 or 4-1 even, depending on how like well you or how have level or how aggressively you level, or you're probably gonna be able to roll like 70, 80 gold at level 7.
Okay.
So then it's going to just play a little bit more passive. You kind of do the same thing here, where you just kind of chill and wait. That's also the second thing. Like, just try to get a little bit comfortable with like losing a little bit, and then try to push a streak once you get strong.
Yeah, yeah, I should do that better.
Those are like the main two things about the early game. Try to incorporate the scouting part a little bit, but most importantly, if you are in doubt, then just roll. It's just a good rule of thumb. If in doubt, roll, and then always like keep in the back of your mind like which units you're rolling for. So you're spending like all this time here. Think about like what you're rolling for.
Right, right.
So you know you're rolling for primarily Urgot, but you are fine with playing Yon.
Okay.
Just like never click like Jin or Seraphine because
Right.
it's just going to clog up your bench.
Yeah, okay, I need to not do that.
Also, if you have time on the carousel here, do the same thing where you like see who's like next up and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think like this, yeah, you see like this guy is next up. This guy is next up. So we know that these two are probably going to roll to 0 because they're super low. So then it was probably correct to level here and roll just because we didn't have our items were trash.
So you need power from rolling it because your power from items are bad.
Yeah, our items are bad. So when we hit, we're not going to get that big of a power spike because items are way stronger on 2-star units. But if your items are bad, you're not getting that much value out of the items anyways. So then the only way we can get power is by hitting 2-star units. So then we want to. But since our items are bad, we can't. We're going to get outscaled by other players, so we want to get as strong as soon as possible to stop the bleeding that's going to come eventually due to us being underpowered compared to the other people who probably have better items than us.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Right.
This is a lot of words, but hopefully
you need to either know you can win the mid game or the late game, basically, is what you said. I don't know if 4-5 is the mid game anymore, but
well, this is kind of like when most people would say like the late game starts, either here or here. It's not, but
the late game or the
doesn't
super
matter.
late game.
Yeah, and then just need more damage.
How do you know we need more damage?
Because you already get or first or we shouldn't really start. You don't start by thinking about it. Let me restart. Okay, so first you look at all three, then you eliminate the bad ones. So scrap is
left. Yeah.
worse. Then you look at these two. Okay, then you think, okay, do you need are any of these useful? More damage is always useful. Healing is also useful, but right now we get healing through Chemtech, and we have a defensive item on our Urgot, so then we don't need. We're probably better off having more damage because we only have 2 damage items on Urgot.
So instead of GA, you had IE. Would you consider the right one more? Would you have taken it?
Yes, if there's no burst damage, or if there's less burst damage in the lobby. So, like for example, Celestial Blessing is pretty good against like Yon because he deals kind of consistent damage, but it's really bad against like Lux because she just bursts you down in one hit. Also, you gotta check for Morales and stuff.
Does the shield not protect you against luck, like burst as well?
Yeah, but she usually just one shots you. I think. Like
Okay.
healing is good against consistent DPS and not burst damage.
Okay. Cool. I'll keep that in mind.
Because against consistent DPS, you have kind of time to heal up through the consistent damage you're taking. But if you're 1,000 HP and you take 1,000 damage, you get 0 value out of Celestial Blessing.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense.
But the most important thing, this is like a thing that almost everybody does, and it's like this turn, just
Be faster.
spend your gold. It's so important to just roll. If you
Yeah.
think about it, like what's the most important thing right now is to get strong and hit the 2-star Urgot and hit our frontline 2-star. That's like the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we lose, like this board is not good enough for stage 5. It's just not going to cut it because everybody, or at least you should think that everybody has their 2-star forecasts.
Yep.
Or people who are playing reroll are going to roll to 0 to hit their 3-star 2-cost here because they're also going to fall off to 2-star forecast units.
Yes.
So 5-1 is kind of the turn where almost the entire lobby is rolling to 0 unless except for the people who are like turbo high rolling going fast 9. But those
Right. So if I lucked my Urgot 2-star, my Mundo 2-star, you would go fast 9 here? Just from natural increase?
I don't know. I think that going fast 9 is not good in this spot just because of the item situation, because they're bad.
So what would I do here if my units are all 2-starred and I have like 50 gold or 40 gold left?
Well, then if you don't have anything to roll for, then you always go 9.
Okay. And do you go
But
9 as soon as you have
here
units?
we're like one bad loss away from being 1 life,
Yeah.
and so then it's really risky to go level 9. So they probably wouldn't
my
2-star everything.
guy's weak. Yeah, none of my guys are 2-star.
But to the more important part, when you're spending, or like beforehand, it's really important to think about which unit, or to like, we're playing Urgot here, so just only click the units you play in the Chemtech comp.
Okay, yeah.
Because because the research, you have a lot of gold, and a lot of people kind of fall into this fake trap of thinking that like, okay, to hit Urgot 2-star, I need gold, but the thing you actually need to hit Urgot 2-star is enough time to roll through your gold to hit Urgot 2-star. And so if you spend time like picking up because right here you spent like a second picking up these, and then here you spent another like 1.5-ish seconds. Now you spent like wasted 2.5 seconds picking up these champions.
Yeah, no.
So you essentially what you traded was 2.5 seconds for like
Nothing.
like a 0.1 is that 1% chance higher chance of hitting this guy maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
And then yeah, here you waste like another little bit.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of in this spot where I think here
Board's full. That's why I have to like.
you already spent like 3 seconds. You're like, what the fuck do I sell? And now you eventually like just wasting 1.5 seconds ended up like wasting 7 seconds almost because I think here you don't.
And I ended up losing like 15 health instead of like 7 health because of that or something.
So here you had like 58 gold at the start, but it was only like you only rolled through like 20 of it.
Right, because I had
because you wasted time picking up units.
Yeah.
So I would say like this is kind of just a bad habit to kick.
Yes, I will stop doing that immediately.
Yeah. So besides that, or actually, do you understand like why these items are better and why?
Basically, you want Mundo items, and those aren't Mundo items.
Yeah, and we have no other unit that can get value out of these.
So what do you mean
they're like damage?
Like, can't you build like AP Echo with like the JG and the staff?
I'll say like relative compared to like the max value. Because if you think about like max value here would probably be like maybe like Redemption Bramble or like Titan's Mundo.
Yeah.
And here the items we can make are pretty bad. Like obviously if you think about it, what's like the lowest value? That's probably like I don't know, like BT on like Oriana or Janna. Like that, it basically does nothing. You might as well just not have 2 items on them.
Okay, so like Echo can't like, carry here. Like it's bad.
Unless the thing his circle lands on Urgot, which is pretty. It's a bit, or it's almost impossible to line up with range carries.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really do that. But you also want to get rid of this guy because he is not a twin shot.
For twin shot, yeah. Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, the rolling down thing is I definitely do that wrong. so I can fix
This
that
will
right now.
probably just kicking this bad habit will probably get you up at least like 1 or 2 divisions.
Oh, really?
Maybe not two, but at least one, I would say, because this is like literally every single diamond and platinum player makes this mistake.
Yes, I agree. Well, I make it at least.
Yeah. Do you got any? Do you have a clear idea what to work on for the next?
The early game and then the roll down better basically are the two things.
Yeah, and then also try to think, try to at least get into the mindset of thinking about like scouting people to evaluate how strong you are compared to them, and then also valuing how strong your items are, and try to put all that into whether you should play for top 2 or top 4, or if you are really unlucky or really weak compared to everybody else, you got to play for like a top 6, where you just you're kind of in those spots you're kind of just hard stuck rolling at level 7 until you hit your 2 stars, just to save all the HP you can.
So like you play for top 2, I would have done that if I had better items, but I didn't, so I have to play for top 4. And then when do I know how to when to play for top 6?
Top 6 is essentially, if we look at when we looked at like this, we look at like this guy's board.
I guess not playing for top
Yeah,
6.
like this. If you're in like this spot and you have like 30 gold left, then you're like playing for top 6.
And that happens if you just like super low roll everything, or
Yeah, and, like most games, I would say in like 70% of your games, you're gonna play for like top 4, 70-80%, and then like 10% or more are like top 2, and then the last are like bottom 6.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, but we can focus way more on that the next session.
Right,
Because
that's
it
why.
is a bit of it's like one of the harder things to do, but it's the ones that is really going to help you out pushing into masters. Also, one final thing that I've completely forgot to mention is that you should focus. You should pick 3 comps, then only focus on those and only play those to get really good at 3 comps.
And they should be the same tree, like all AD or all AP.
Primarily, you pick like for example Urgot and Yon, and if you get a lot of AP, you play innovators.
And
For
those would
example.
be my 3 that I focus on.
Yeah, and you play those 3 in like 90% of your games, and then you play the occasional like Cogbar reroll if you get like all your stuff early or like turnover.
Yeah, that seems
But
like
the
decent.
main
Yeah.
yeah, because the main reason is you want to get really good at 3 comps rather than being okay at all the other comps. Because if you're really good at 3 comps, you're going to be way better at all the other people who are just okay at the other comps. Then you're going to make better decisions, save more HP, and then get more LP.
Yeah, that makes
That's the
sense.
short version.
And how
So yeah,
important? So,
go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. The final question is like positioning. How important is that? And like, how do I position better?
Um,
So scout more for sure. But then once I
It's
scout,
it's kind of the same thing as like for example, if you look at this fight, the main threats are like Braum and with a CC and Seraphine with her ulti, so you want to spread out against this dude
so
because
like I would
then
make a one space gap between all of my tanks, or like what does spreading out mean?
yeah, and then you spreading out so that this ulti is not hitting your entire board except for like 3 units.
Okay, and then like maybe put Urgot
So
on the left, or like the middle instead of in the line.
also it's a bit hard when your only ranged guy is Urgot. It's a lot. It's like super easy in like Gen, for example, because then you just do like this, for example. Because then Seraphine ults here, and then it doesn't hit Jin, I think, or you can like put him here.
So what if there's multiple comps? Like what if there's that Seraphine comp and like an assassin comp? Like how do I hedge my bets? Like do I have to put like
Then
Blitzcrank
you
down
gotta
or
kind of think
something?
about like the worst case scenario, or kind
Okay.
of like if you spread out against assassins, you probably get completely wiped.
Yes, I agree.
Whereas if you don't spread out against this, you are probably you still have like a decent shot if you're stronger than them. So you kind of gotta evaluate those two things. It's
Okay.
but that's also I can't really answer that within like. But we can talk more about those in future in the next
Yeah,
sessions.
definitely. Yeah. But that's more of like an
It's
advanced concept that I shouldn't worry about right now.
it's a pretty it's like it's I wouldn't worry about that until you get closer to like diamond or like masters, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? You know what to work on?
Yes. So like, do I schedule this again in like 1 week or 2 weeks
Yeah.
after I
I,
hit Diamond 1? I'll reschedule
no, I think you. It sh- it should. I think if you go back,
to Metafly.
it should ask you. I don't know because I switched to this website like 1.5 weeks ago roughly.
I
So I
mean,
can message one of them if it doesn't tell you when you can, because I think you just pick when you schedule and then I gotta confirm it that it works with my schedule.
yeah, it tells me your schedule, and then I can reschedule whenever, but I can do it like a month out or like a week out or 2 weeks out. So
Yeah.
should I do it a week out or like 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out? Is there like a timeline
I
that
think that what'll be best for you is probably like I would say at least 1 week.
at
Um,
least okay?
to just
So
make sure you at least like try to focus more on the things that we talked about, so that we don't have to go over it again. Kind of.
right, so once I'm confident in, let's say, the items, and
Yeah.
then I should reschedule my next thing.
Yeah, I would say that. I'll also upload this to another channel unlisted, so you can watch back the
I'm
game as well.
recording all of this if that's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I can
Just
just
let me
watch
know
it.
if you just let me know if you post it anywhere
I,
beforehand.
should I post it? My
Uh, uh,
personal YouTube has like 10 viewers. I might post it there.
Yeah, sure. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not like popular.
But yeah, anything else before we wrap it up here?
No, no, I'll probably just watch the recording like once or twice and focus on the things you were telling me to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
All
that's
right.
good.
Well, then you have good luck on good luck on the climb, and good luck on working on the early game and all that. Then yeah, just schedule another one whenever you feel like getting back into it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You do. Bye bye.